he said, as a young boy, was your mother very strict with you? I said, let me make one thing absolutely clear. My mother was never a young boy.
No, you're looking at a very proud Canadian. Very proud of the education system in Canada, I think. I think it's the goodest of all 17 countries.
Why don't you tell the rest of the class something you're not very good at that begins with the letter N? So I said, spelling. I was outside school last week. I got 5 minutes. I was outside school last week. One of the other parents came over and asked me what year my daughter was in. I said 2017.
Triple X Roman plays. I thought it sounded really sexy, so I went along. It was just 30 plays. So good evening, my name is Chris Turner, although I am changing it to AAA, so I can claim to be the world's best arcade gamer. Some of you may have noticed my teeth are a little wonky. When I was 17 I fainted, smashed them out over the floor and spent the evening in hospital vomiting more blood than a bulimic vampire. As a result, I'm now a 21-year-old man who wears braces. To give them their proper name, orthodontic appliance, or life-destroying mouthload of social stigma. And it's alright to laugh and even applaud that. You racists. A wise man once said, efficiency is just intelligent laziness. But I once said that feet are just shit hands. I'm really quite a normal person. I'm very good friends with 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Some of you may have noticed that was a pun. From now on I'm going to warn you of puns by grabbing onto the microphone stand. We'll call it the pun stick. For example, as a child I had a real obsession with Posh Spice, which cost my mum a fortune in saffron. There's an American saying, possession is 9/10 of the word. My friend asked me, superpower in the world, what would it be? I said Cold War Russia. I don't believe in God. I don't begrudge anyone who does. I think it's brilliant that you have something to believe in and commit your life to. What I don't like are celebrities that jump on the religious bandwagon just for the sake of appearing cool and trendy. Because I firmly believe that a Christ is for life and not just for dogmas. It's a brilliant joke. My girlfriend's family are quite religious. I remember the first time I went to stay with her at her parents' house and her dad wouldn't let us sleep together, which was a shame because he's very attractive. No, she doesn't like that joke, but it's not her least favourite. This is her least favourite joke. Because I wrote a joke about black people, and she said, you can never tell that joke to a comedy audience because it plays off negative, inaccurate stereotypes of black people. And if there's a black person in your audience, they might stab you. Well, it seems like we've been having fun, so I'd like to leave you with a big finale, and I'd like to recite the periodic table. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen! That was the element of surprise. You've just you've been lovely. Good evening.
So I get off the plane and I forgot to undo my seatbelt and I'm pulling the plane through the terminal. Had a dream that all the babies prevented by the pill showed up. They were mad.
I once shot an elephant in my pajamas. How we got in my pajamas, I'll never know. I think the worst time to have a heart attack is during a game of charades. Especially if your teammates are bad guessers. I think they named oranges before they named carrots. What are these? Those are orange. So oranges, okay. What about these? Oh, crap.
Went to a karaoke bar last night that didn't play any 70s music. At first I was afraid. Oh, I wasn't.
This is a really good one. What's Forrest Gump's password?
Today, I'm going to try to make him laugh, he's going to try to make me laugh, and the person who does that the most wins the challenge.
Oh crap, I'm already in a giggle mood.
Did I just get a point?
No, you didn't say a joke.
I had a few jokes about unemployed people, but it doesn't matter, not really work.
Good. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. Oh, I'm gonna do so bad at this.
Okay. I survived that one. Alright, you ready for this one? So,
Melissa and I were driving yesterday, and we were trying to go somewhere, and she said, "Oh, you missed a right," and I said, "No, babe, you Mrs. Right."
Okay. What do you call a woman with one leg? Eileen.
When does red mean go and green mean stop? I'm already laughing. When you're eating a watermelon.
It's good. It's good. Ooh, this is tough. What concert only costs 45 cents to get in?
Something about 50 cents. I don't know.
50 Cent featuring Nickelback. Yes.
Dang it. Don't you hate it when people answer their own questions? I do.
That was a good
Ow, that like gave me a seizure in my stomach. Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
This is, I'm not gonna not laugh at any of these.
So yesterday, my daughters came home with a pencil that had 2 erasers. Seems pointless.
Yep, I can see that. Russian nesting dolls are so full of themselves.
It's a true statement.
It's so funny.
Do you know if the president's in danger, the Secret Service can't yell, "Get down." They have to yell, "Donald Duck!"
Last week I really scared my mailman. I came to the door naked. And it didn't embarrass me that much. But he started yelling like, "How do you know where I live? Get away from my house." And so I left. I'm gonna lose so bad. Really thought I had you on that one.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I was gonna tell you a joke about DiGiorno pizza, but it was too cheesy.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
To?
To who?
To whom?
What was that?
At that point I feel like I'm just laughing at him laughing.
You know what the least spoken language in the world is? Sign language.
I think I like it. Barkeep says, "I'm sorry, we never serve time travelers." A time traveler walks into a bar. Thanks.
What sound does the 747 make when it bounces? Boeing, Boeing, Boeing. It's so funny. Boeing, Boeing, Boeing.
That was good.
How to invest with as little as £1. With trading 212, you can buy fractional shares with 0
That's
commission.
just fucking funny. He's waiting for an hour for
Now
a
you can own
relay.
even the most expensive stocks.
Got an Edmonton blind prostitute.
Check it out.
I was wondering, what kind of shoes do ninjas wear? Sneakers.
What do you get from a dwarf cow?
Mini milk.
Condensed milk.
What do you call a guy with a hamster stuck in each ear?
What?
Anything you want. You can't hear you.
Valid. Very true. Now this one I picked specifically for you. What are 100 rabbits hopping backwards called? receding hairline.
I need to escape.
The furniture store keeps calling me. All I wanted was one nightstand.
Why do ducks have tail feathers? To cover their butt quacks.
The young couple next door to me have recently made a sex tape. I mean, obviously they don't know that yet. I used to have a parachutist with IBS, but she shat on me from a great height. I think it's sad the word legend has been devalued from pulling a sword from a stone to unexpectedly returning with crisps. I hired a landscape gardener, but he said he couldn't help as my garden was portrait. Every Christmas day, we always have pigs in blankets, or as you probably call it, relatives sleeping in the spare room. It's tradition in our family that we always have a Christmas jumper, and then it's my job to talk them down. Went on a barging holiday, I haven't got a boat, I just kept pushing people into canals. I don't like to eat anything labelled reformed ham, as I think it's unfair that the pigs are slaughtered after they've got their lives back on track. This morning I went to a meeting of my premature ejaculator support group. It turns out it's tomorrow. Tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. I put on a lot of weight, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency, can you send somebody round? And they said, yes we can, we got loads of them. I was actually thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments at the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. Watching TV, the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. If you watch a porn film backwards, it's about a man who hoovers stunk off a woman. Then breaks her washing machine and leaves. A friend of mine had a penis extension. Now his house looks really stupid.
When I was in high school, my high school employed a blind janitor. 100% totally blind. And all the other kids would joke around that he went blind from masturbating too much. And at the time I believed that. I was just a kid, I didn't know any better. It wasn't until I got older, wiser, I realized that's just an old wives' tale they used to use to try to explain why he was always masturbating. I of course live in Los Angeles.
What's your favourite inspirational life quote? Live each day as if it's your last. Yeah, it's probably why I didn't get the job at the Samaritans. That's the Samaritans now.
Here at Jackpot Joy, we've been creating winners for 20 years. And we've seen them all. The fist pumpers, the love to let you know they've just won us, the cool as cucumbers, and then for Susan. There's a winner every minute at Jackpot Joy. Come and join us.
Wetting your bed is embarrassing as a child, but as an adult, wetting a child's bed is mortifying. It's almost impossible to explain that shit away. I bought a rape alarm because I kept on forgetting to rape people. Oh, bloody marvellous. When I was a kid, I was scared of the dentist. He was a paedophile. I suppose that begs the question, how many fillings did he give me? Islamic fundamentalist sex dolls. Do they blow themselves up? In Palestinian passports under occupation, do they just put Israel? The joke is only there to test where the Guardian readers are sitting. No further questions, back to the knob gags. I met an incredible girl on the internet. Smart, sexy, uninhibited. Of course, it turned out to be a 12-year-old paraplegic boy. I'll be honest, the sex was disappointing. Oh, I think we've reached a barrier there, haven't we? And we will laugh at that and nothing more. I don't want to make a big deal of this, but I recently adopted a newborn African child. He was just £7 plus postage and packing. That's how they get you. If only they put holes in that box. And that is the joke, interestingly, that Richard Curtis said was a bit much for the comic relief gig. When I was younger, I couldn't talk to women because I was hiding in their wardrobes masturbating. I would have totally given it away. You didn't see that coming, did you? Oh, I've written a rom-com. I wanted to tell you about this. I've written a romantic comedy. It's about a guy and a girl. Classic. Yeah? Initially, they hate each other. Classic. But they end up in bed together. Classic. It's called The Rapist. Did you see the story about Gary Glitter? There was a GCSE music question about Gary Glitter. How bad's that? How bad's that? A GCSE music question about a Gary Glitter song. Because if there's one artist you don't want to associate with the phrase, shh, turn over, you've got an hour. I should probably leave Glitter alone. He just wants to settle down and have kids. I said to my girlfriend, I said, you want to experiment with a role-play rape fantasy? She said, no! I said, that's the spirit. Rape is such a horrible word, though. It's such a harsh, brutal, awful word. Rape. That's why I prefer to call it struggle snuggle. You couldn't stay mad at a struggle snugglers, could you? Bloody adorable. A lot of people like to smoke cigarettes after sex, but you can't buy cigarettes until you're 16, so I have to get them for both of us. You think it's wrong I'm buying a 15-year-old girl cigarettes? You think it's wrong I'm fucking her? I'm kidding. Kidding does sound like a verb for child abuse, doesn't it? I'm kidding. Are you joking or touching kids? But obviously it's a family show. I've noticed a thing, I go out to see a lot of comedy shows, and I've noticed a thing, comics tend to do their best stuff right at the end of the gig, and then they leave the audience wanting more. Sounds good, doesn't it? But it doesn't make any sense. Because you, the audience, are left wanting more, and the comedian has fucked off. That doesn't make any sense, so what I'd like to do, because I've given it some thought, I'd like to torpedo this gig with some very unpleasant jokes that will offend and upset you all. And then you can all leave thinking, thank fuck that's over. You're welcome. Let's begin. If women are so good at multitasking, is it too much to ask? Tickle my balls while you work the shaft? Half a joke, half public service announcement. I often get asked, are you ever going to get married? I don't think I ever will get married. I mean, you can't get married at 16 without parental consent. And that's not going to happen. They still think she's dead. That's an unfortunate reaction, because that's only there to warm me up for this one. Did you all read that story about the girl that was kidnapped and kept in squalid conditions for 18 years? Did you read that story? Was I the only one that read that story and thought, 18 years in squalid conditions? Have a tidy round. Make a house a home, you lazy bint. Say what you like about the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They can work to a deadline. It's only words, nothing bad's happened. It's not like I've drop-kicked a kitten into an orphan's face. Once, I did that once. And it was fucking funny, but you sort of had to be there. I think I've sorted out the credit crunch. I thought you'd be pleased. No, I genuinely, I think I've sorted out the credit crunch. You know what the problem is with the credit crunch, as I in layman's terms, okay? The trade, the turnover, the cycle of business isn't happening in the way it was because businesses and banks and countries have gone bust and no one trusts each other. So how are we going to repair this? How are we going to get things started again, get that virtuous circle up and running? I'll tell you what we do. We build a World Trade Center.
If you're over 50 in the UK without funeral cover, please watch this video. One company, Golden Leaves,